Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Let's Talk. I am your host, author Let. So come on in the room and have a seat so we can let's talk. Thank you for joining me for another fun-filled week as we inform, inspire, and motivate. We get you going, get you going, get you going during these tough times and beyond. So come on in and have a seat. Absolutely. So, as I tell you guys, every week you can always find information out about the shows where you can watch them on Facebook Live if you want to be a part of the Let's Talk fam. There you can view the show live. We come on every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're unable to come on live and be a part of the virtual studio audience, you can watch the pre-recordings that are shown later on Facebook and on YouTube. So make sure you check out the shows there. Also, you guys can purchase all of my books on my website, which is dtlproduct.net, and also on Amazon by typing in my name, Dree, D-R-E space L-E-T-T. There you'll find all of my 5 books and a bio of me and other additional information. And as I've been telling you guys, I've got my 6th book coming out. It's coming out soon. Stay tuned, stay tuned. It's called Lemons, Sugar, and Me. Yes, it's going to be good, good, good. It's going to have a little bit of inspiration, some godly situations, some sinful situations, some real life situations. So you want to check that out. It is a sequel to How Did I End Up with Him? So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in for my Let's Talk fam. I appreciate you guys as always. Hubby is watching from the man cave. Let's see here, Carla. Hey, how are you, sis? Love you. My cousin, she is on watching from Vegas, my faithful viewer. She says, good evening, all ready for the weekend. The cooler temperatures, rain showers have passed here in Las Vegas. Should be very nice. Yes, you are in a fun city. Have fun out there, cuz, and relax and release. Absolutely. Let's see here. And my skate family, Kojak, is watching. Hey, how are you, bro? And I see other people are tuned in as well. Don't worry if you're shy, you don't want to say anything. It's all good. It's all good. I just appreciate you guys spending your time with me. So, you guys, today is Inspire Friday. Yes, indeed. It is Inspire Friday. Tonight we have author Hartford Hough. He's here to inspire us with his unique story. We're so excited to have him on. And yes, he is back. Jerome, the comedian entertainer, he is back from his cruise. He's going to be on later. He's going to have his Jerome moment, and he's going to tell us more about his cruise and other fun stories that he's got to share with us during his Jerome moment. So I'm super excited to have him on as well. So you guys, as I was coming on, I just want to share this with you real quick. If you don't already know, today is October 8th. And as I was coming on the air, I just could not believe I heard the news about Jacob Blake. He's a young man that was fatally shot by the police in Wisconsin. It was so sad. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So basically, Whew. The U.S. Justice Department basically said they're not going to pursue any charges against the police officer, and they're not going to pursue any civil rights charges, I should say, against the police officer because they feel that he was, um, it was in self-defense because the gentleman had a knife. So, that's so disheartening. But I will say this: I'm going to wait into the case and make sure I see both sides of it, and I don't know, but just to hear first onset was like, wow, here we go again. But again, I'm gonna, you know, try to be fair and listen to both sides when the evidence comes out during the trial. So I just want to share that with you guys. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest. He is anxiously awaiting. He is in the virtual green room, as I call it. And he is coming in from Los Angeles. So, you guys, let me formally introduce Mr. Hartford Hough. He's an award winning baker, chef, and cake designer. He is also a man who has a love for God, the people of God, and all he has created. After matriculating through Howard University and now earning his credentials at Johnson and Wales University as an educator, he now serves as an instructor of men's Bible study and evangelism. The author of two books and co author of a third literary work, he is determined to make an impact in the world, getting people to understand God's creation of animals and their place as they coexist with humanity. He is a true advocate who will passionately continue to raise awareness for this cause, end animal cruelty, and foster care. Everyone, help me welcome to the virtual stage Hartford author Hartford Hough. All right, let's bring him on in the room. Hi, Mr. Hough. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk. I'm so excited that you are here, coming in from Los Angeles.
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, you're in San
San
Francisco.
Francisco,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The Bay Area. Absolutely. I
Uh-huh.
love the Bay. That's my home area, home state I was
Okay.
from. So thank you for coming on Let's Talk. The viewers are watching, and viewers, make sure you guys chime in your questions that you may have for Hartford. But I just want to ask you the number one question. So, how did you become an author about animals and dogs? Tell me all about that journey first.
Well, for me, Dre, it started in an unusual fashion because of my culinary background. I had always done a lot of work with the homeless community, from my church and serving with various organizations from the cities that I've lived in, from New York to DC, Los Angeles, and now currently in San Francisco. And it was this love for serving God's people. And of course, the one thing about our society, we sort of treat homeless people with such disregard. And so many people's lives have just been broken and forgotten, often neglected, sadly, sometimes abused. And, when you think about people who are actually living on the streets, it's all about survival for them. And I heard some really, really sad stories. Well, as I was doing that, my heart was directed towards another group of living creatures. That was with the animals. And I'm sure many of us have encountered stray dogs and stray cats, and we've seen how animals are treated in society. And now, there, of course, we have people who have domesticated animals, but there are also those who just have a floodgate of feral cats and stray dogs, sometimes lost animals. And their story is very similar to what goes on with the homeless community. These animals are broken, they're neglected, they're often disregarded, forgotten about. And for many of them on the street, they're trying to survive. So my heart was directed towards them. I've always loved animals, always had animals since I was a child. But as I was preparing to write my book, I was inspired by my own animals. And they sort of gave me that, they were the catalyst for me to start writing, because we came up with the title, The Fur Beneath My Wings, because they really are the support that keeps us, with their unconditional love, their devotion, their personalities. And, when you realize that animals, like humans, were created by God, they have a purpose for being here just like we do.
Oh, yeah, I love that story. That's amazing. You're so right, because the animals often it can be treated like your child, can be treated like your
Mhm.
bestie. Oh gosh, especially when you're having a bad day. That's wonderful. I love to hear that. I love it. So when I saw your story, I was like, oh my goodness, when you reached out and you said you want to come on and share your story, I was like, absolutely. I love it. I love it. So like you just shared your story about animals, so how has it impacted your life in a more deeper level? How do you intend to use this platform to impact others' lives?
Well, for my organization that I'm slowly starting, it's just building up, the Fur Beneath My Wings. It is my desire to actually raise my voice and continue to raise awareness as I align myself with organizations and groups that have already been out here doing frontline work. The Humane Society, the ASPCA, Best Friends Society. There's even private groups that I've worked with, and I've actually given money, and hopefully in the future will give more time to. It's impacted me, and I hope to use this platform to just raise awareness about animal adoption, fostering care for the wellness of animals, and not just domestic animals, also animals in the wild. I was also moved by the animals out here that were affected by the wildfires,
Yeah.
and those of us who live in California, and especially in suburban communities, we have to deal with animals that come down from the wild, when their domain is destroyed and they're looking for food. And some of these animals are actually foraging for food because they're probably nursing, and they come down here, and not that they want to coexist with us in that way, but they're just looking to survive. So they're looking for that a place to be where they can actually get something or some sustenance. And the last thing I want to do, I want to eradicate animal cruelty. That is definitely that is the one I want to punch home with, because when I get to hear the stories and about people who mistreat animals, and they really just are heartless, it breaks my heart, and I want to break someone too. But I won't break anyone, but I hope to raise my voice and hopefully align myself with others so that we can actually eradicate animal cruelty.
Yeah, that's so sad. I always see those commercials. The Humane Society showing the little dog with the arm, with the leg, broken.
Hmm.
And oh my gosh, that's amazing that you're willing to do that and roll up your sleeves and get involved to help stop that. That's terrible. That's terrible, but that's
Hmm.
awesome what you're doing, definitely. So, what are the spiritual implications of what you're doing with animals as it relates to Christianity and your walk with faith?
This was definitely one of the most important things, because as a man of faith, I love God and I love what God has done in my life. He's just been so good to me. And, when we look at animals, in my first book, The Fur Beneath My Wings, I talk about how animals are like little teachers, and they teach us these lessons that we as human beings, but more so as Christians, should be practicing. Lessons in love, lessons in patience, lessons in compassion, kindness, gentleness. These are lessons that are given. And when we talk about the fruits of the Spirit that are supposed to be produced in the Christian character, we see this in animals. And I told someone, I said, if you just take a basic observational view of the animal kingdom, you would see just how much they care for one another. When they socialize, they love one another. They're devoted to one another. When another animal is down, they look beyond the fact that, oh, we're probably natural enemies, but I see that you're in need, and they actually go beyond that. And when I see these little acts, and I'm so glad sometimes they're often caught on a video, it says, my God, we as human beings, how we treat one another in society, and that's where, again, it kind of ties in with that compassion for the homeless. And when you see people, your heart is just drawn to them, because you realize, but for the grace of God, there go I. So
Mm,
to have compassion and extend kindness to someone less fortunate, I believe that's what God wants us to do. And I really believe that animals share this world with us and we coexist with them. So it certainly has deepened my faith. And it certainly brought me to an awareness of who God is, because I know that God is love, and that love is one of the greatest forces in the universe. And I really believe that it can be extended. And for those who've ever had a dog or a cat, or even a rabbit or a hamster, if you've never experienced that unconditional love in a physical form, it's just amazing to have uh, that love that just loves you no matter what, no matter how bad your day is, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how your family treats you, what's going on the job, in the community, in the church, it doesn't matter. They love you. That's all they want to do. And as quiet as it's kept, my baby is sitting here in the studio with me. I told him to be quiet, don't say anything. So, but he's here
oh,
with me, because all he wants me to do is just love him. He's like, okay, as soon as you finish, we're going for a walk. So I said, of course.
That is beautiful. I love that, Hartford. You're so right in that animals, they're not corrupted by the evils of this world,
No, that's
crazy
right.
movies, social media, they're just animals. And you're correct. We need to take a lesson out of their book and how we treat one another and love each other.
Yes.
And it's amazing that you touched on that because I saw something on a documentary once where you have a lot of sick people or
Hmm.
elderly people, you give them a pet, it just lifts their spirits up. They start to
Yes.
smile more. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, that is so true. That is so true. Right on the mark. I love it. I love it.
And
So,
if I could just say one little thing when you just to
sure.
tag on what you just said, because I remember when there was, I believe it was Hurricane Maria, and one of the things that really blessed me was how the Humane Society actually was on the front line of going in to help a lot of the families that had lost their homes and their businesses, and their communities were just destroyed. And they came in with a set of Labrador retrievers, and these dogs came in and literally sat with the people. Now you can
Oh,
imagine someone sitting there after a devastating hurricane, and they're looking at what used to be their home or their business or their community, and they're sitting there in such despair, and this creature just comes and sits next to you, and he doesn't want anything. He just wants to offer you hope. He
oh,
just wants to offer you compassion that
mhm.
lets you know that someone cares. And when you can feel that love and that care, and someone once told me years ago, as long as you have life, you have hope. And as long as you're alive, you can, you may have lost your home, but you're alive. You can rebuild. You can always rebuild a business, a home. Yeah, but as long as you're here, that's the most important thing. So that gives you hope to look forward to the future.
Oh, I love that story. I love that story. Oh my gosh, that's
Mhm.
amazing. And then also, now that we're in COVID and so many people are losing loved ones, I got to think that
Yes,
that would definitely help if there's been
yes.
a man or a woman that's had that spouse for 30, 40 years and they passed and now they've
Hmm.
got something to fill that void, if you will. I love that. That's amazing.
Hmm.
That is so amazing. So, going back to what you were saying with animals, do you foresee animals playing a role in your ministry as you go forward with your ministry studies?
I do, and it's interesting because at my church, I find it lately we've had a lot of people who have lost their beloved animal companions, and for some reason, it's almost like it was been directed towards me to reach out to them because I know what it's like to lose a pet. I know that experience, and I talk about that in my second book, which is dedicated to my beloved animal companion Ginger, the journey of two hearts, one animal, one human. And I really go in depth about the loss, and I take my readers to that place. So I know that pain all too well. And when people in my church call and their animal is, they know they're kind of about to transition, I can offer them words of encouragement. I can pray with them. I can send them a card. Even if they're up for it, I can visit them, because sometimes it's just being there for that person, just like when we lose a family member. And the thing that really got me about COVID, because I lost some family members, and because of the whole restrictions,
I'm
we
sorry.
couldn't even have a funeral, and
Mhm.
I couldn't be with them in their final moments, and that almost took me to an emotional low. But I thank God that my animals were there with me, so I know that blessing of having animal companionship. But for someone else, I know that sometimes it's a little deeper, because like you said earlier, to some people their dogs and their cats are like their children. Those are their fur babies. So the loss is definitely felt, and it's very deep.
Wow, that's amazing that you said, and I'm sorry for your loss, by the way. My goodness. So tell me more about Ginger. Tell me how she was special to you and what kind of
Oh,
dog was she?
oh my God, that was my heart. And I got her at a time when I was a cat man. I was a man with cats. I love my cats. And I hadn't thought about having a dog because I knew the responsibility involved with having a dog, and I wasn't there because I just had too many things going on in my life. But when they had this adoption fair at my church, my former church in Los Angeles, she chose me. And when she chose me, it was such a blessing. She came in, and when she met my cats that I had at the time, it was a very, very congenial meeting, except for one cat, and I don't want to give that away. That's in the book. But Ginger was my heart, because in 2016 I had a mild stroke,
Oh,
and she was with me when I had that stroke. And the fact that she just never left my side. And I had her registered as my emotional support animal. So from that point on, she got to go with me everywhere, everywhere that I felt I needed her to be, especially when I was traveling. So when I had her, and literally she was going with me to not necessarily the store, but more like traveling, like when I was just going, different states, or if I was driving in the car. But she was just there for me, and she was also there during some very hard times for me. When there was the loss of a job, or the loss of a family member, things that were just happening within society. Because she didn't understand about racism and the things that we were dealing with as African Americans, and but they were affecting me because I took it very emotionally. So she would just see me crying sometimes, and she would just literally sit by me. So when she died in 2019, I made a promise to her that I would do three things. The first thing I was going to do was I was going to plant a plant, and they have these plants called forget-me-nots, and they were given to me when I got her ashes back from the crematorium. The second thing I said I was going to do, I was going to adopt another animal, because there's, when you lose an animal, there's always another one in need. And the third thing was I was going to write the book, and I completed all that I said I was going to do. And I promised her that as she was making her transition, I wasn't going to fight it. I wasn't going to fight because, I was selfish. I wanted to keep her here as long as possible, but I didn't want her drugged up. I didn't want her going back and forth to the vet. I couldn't see her on a whole bunch of meds. And she let me know. That's the part I love about her, and I miss so much. She let me know it was time, and it was okay to let her go, because there were other animals that needed me. And right now, that's what I have. I have Benji, which is my current dog, Tony, which is my cat, and I have a cat that I rescued, this beautiful cat named Distance, who was attacked by another animal, but now he's under my care. So those are my current animal companions. And Ginger was the inspiration behind all of this.
oh, that's wonderful. I love it. What kind of dog is Benji? I'm just curious.
He is a Shih Tzu Terrier mix. He looks
Oh,
just like, if you remember that movie Benji, he looks
yeah.
just like him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
That's
And
amazing. And he's sitting right next to you as you
he's sitting
speak.
right here. I just don't want to get him stirred up
No,
because
no,
he'll
no,
start
no, don't. That's
start barking.
amazing. He's very obedient. I don't even hear him or anything. That's
As he,
awesome.
like I said, as soon as we finish, he's going to be ready to go.
That's awesome. And I could just see how you light up. I mean, and I know
Thank
it's
you.
sad that you lost Ginger, but like you said, we need these things in our lives, right?
Yes.
I think that's amazing. Oh my goodness. So, what are some of your goals as you continue to build this platform of your books and your ministry and all of that good stuff?
I just really hope that we can reach an audience of people who will just learn to appreciate the value of animals, just seeing how very important they are,
Mm,
and to some degree a necessity for a lot of people. Animals that go to nursing homes and hospitals, that are basically what we would consider a service animal. They provide so much. And I think about people in nursing homes who, especially during COVID, who sometimes they don't even get visits from their own children. And we have these wonderful animals that come and sit with them for hours and just give them joy. And it lifts their spirit. It is my desire to hopefully reach an audience of people who will just really come to appreciate animals. And like I said, raise our voice, raise awareness, and prayerfully, people who will really open their hearts and their homes to adopting an animal and making those their homes, their forever homes, because they need it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. That is amazing. Harper, you just inspired me. I don't currently have any pets, but now look, you making me want to go out and get one.
Go get one. It'll change your life. And that's what drew me to your show,
Oh,
because you want to inspire, motivate, and impact. And I when I saw that, I was like, well, I need to talk to her. So
oh,
yeah, you
well, thank
definitely
you.
inspired me. So, and you have a
Oh,
wonderful platform here.
oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I truly do. So tell everybody, what are the names of your books? And I'm going to scroll your information so
Mhm.
the audience can jot down your information. Tell us about the
Sure.
name of the books.
The first book is called The Fur Beneath My Wings: Our Relationship with Animals and the Valuable Lessons They Teach Us. The second book is dedicated to Ginger. It's called Ginger: The Journey of Two Hearts, One Animal, One Human. And the third book, I was a co author. It's called In Recovery: Rising from the Ruins, Stories of Resistance and Resilience. And in that particular book, my contributing chapter, I talk about death and overcoming death, including the loss of a pet. And I used my own personal example of losing, because I've known death so long. And I wanted to basically impact people who had lost their animal companions and a way that they could deal with it and move forward. So that's the third book. It's called In Recovery: Rising from the Ruins.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it.
And I'm working on the play, The Fur Beneath My Wings, the play.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah, so I'm
exciting.
going to be looking for those thespians soon. I'm going to need people to help bring this production on stage.
Absolutely. Well, I will definitely be checking it out. That's for sure. Well, do me
Mhm.
a favor, Harper. Please verbally tell everybody your contact information for those that are listening that may not be able to visually see the one
Sure.
at the bottom.
The best place to follow me is on Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm just a Facebook person. That's where I post all my videos, stories, images, and that's a facebook.com/Hartford Hough. You can also visit me at my website, which is thefurbeneathmywings.com. And we are periodically updating that because there's so many things that are happening, and we want to keep our audience aware of these new developments. So we're very excited. And I'm also on Instagram, but I'm learning a little technology. So I found when you put it on Instagram, it can automatically go to Facebook. So that helps me a lot because I'm not a tech person. So
Awesome, awesome. So, you guys, our virtual audience, we got a couple comments and questions here for you, Hartford.
sure.
Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to scroll through them. Okay, so somebody said they love your story. That is so touching, of your story about Ginger and how you give back and you rescue animals and things of that nature. That's awesome. Somebody else said they're a dog lover. They said the family only get shelter dogs and have been wonderful. You can't beat that true unconditional love.
That's
That is
right.
so true. That is so
Yes.
true. And somebody else said they had a German Shepherd growing up as a kid.
Okay.
And then let's see here. Another comment is they said they've seen homeless people with pets and they're so caring for the animal. They'll ask
Mhm.
for money to get a can of food for the dog and
Yeah.
to feed the dog when they themselves don't have anything to eat. Remarkable love for each other. Yeah, have
Yes.
you seen some of that in your passing?
Oh yes, and I had to really develop a sensitivity because we don't know everybody's story. You don't know what put that person in that situation, and some people, when they've lost everything, whether it was their home, their jobs, their family, that dog might have been the one thing that stayed by them. So
Yeah,
there's an incredible bond, and I've known a few homeless people who actually have those dogs, and sometimes that's so true. They'll just ask you for money for to buy them some food, and whenever I see someone in that particular need, I always, because I keep food in my car. just in case, like a can of cat food or dog food, just in case they, want to feed their animal. Because my heart goes out to the person, the human, but I also feel for that pet. So I definitely understand that situation very well.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Your story is awesome. Awesome. I
Thank
will
you.
definitely be checking out your books, and you've inspired me to want to get a little dog.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely, definitely. You're welcome back here anytime, sir. And please make
Thank
sure
you.
you keep me posted on your play and all the great things you got going on. So thank you so
Definitely.
much for reaching out to me and coming on Let's Talk. It has been a huge pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you. That is awesome, you guys. He was such a treat. As he mentioned, he reached out to me, and of course, I vet them and go through all the information, and he just inspired me so much. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed that as well. So thank you, Mr. Hartford Hough, for coming on. Let's talk. So, you guys, yes, without further ado, the man, the cruise ship man, the comedian, the entertainer, Jerome. It is time for the Jerome moment. Let me bring him on in the virtual stage. He's in the virtual green room. Come on in, Jerome.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
welcome back.
Back.
Yay, how was
Back in action.
it?
My paisley jacket. I guess it's homage to Prince or something.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, you're looking smooth. You're looking
Yeah,
smooth.
trying to do a little something, something. Well, it's good to do the virtual thing because all you got to do is have the top up. You don't have to shine your shoes. You can have on your pajama pants. Just don't stand up. All right.
Right. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you made it back safely. Looks like you're healthy. No
Yeah.
COVID.
No
No
COVID. I was on a
furlough.
Carnival cruise ship called the Miracle,
Okay.
and no cases. Everybody was fine.
All right.
Uh, and it's safe on the ships. It's you have to have the mask inside.
Okay.
But when you go outside, if you're in the sun, the sunshine, and everything, and you're spaced out, then you don't have to have the mask. But if you're getting close to somebody, you have to have it. You can have it. Well, the crew has to have it on all the time.
Oh
People that
wow.
are working there, but the passengers not outside, but inside they do. And people comply. People, because everybody's vaccinated. The crew and the
Okay.
passengers are vaccinated, so it's like no, they have no problems with putting it on when they get inside. There's no fights, I need to take a mask. There's no anti-maskers and all that stuff. So you're
Good.
minded people. So you're in with a good group, and even during the shows, and then they have the mask on for the shows, and people are cool. And at first, I was wondering, hey, can you hear the laughs between the cheers or whatever with the mask on? But it's a little bit muffled, but no, you can still hear it, and the shows go well. Things, and I don't have to have it, of course, when I'm on the stage. Yeah, so it was fun. I came back. It was left out of Long Beach. We went to Catalina Island, right outside of Los Angeles, and Ensenada, Mexico. So that was good. It was good
Oh.
weather. It was nice.
So who was on the
Yeah.
cruise with you as far as entertainers?
The last cruise I was on happened to be a charter. It was called a super charter, super voyages charter, which was a special charter with a lot of big Latino bands.
Oh.
And very good. And there was some other acts too. They had like the singers. They had old school singers like Manhattans.
Oh yeah.
Let's just kiss and say goodbye.
Uh-oh.
That big hit. They were there. And Club Nouveau was there too. They did an
Oh,
outside
you
concert.
were?
Yeah.
Oh my
Look
God.
at all those rumors surrounding me every
Every
day.
day. Yes.
Need some time to get away from these. Yeah, so they were on, and then they had War. Why can't
War.
we be friends like you
Yes.
did? War. They were jamming it, the Low Rider, that song. So they were there, and there's another great group, Latino group called the Midnighters. They do a lot of good songs, old school songs and new school songs, and their own original stuff. And they were a band, and there were several other bands that were performing and artists that were performing that particular weekend. And so it was a big time musical weekend for that cruise, and people were having a good time. They were, having a ball, and all the venues, the outside and inside were had all these bands playing. So the music was kicking that whole weekend. The first cruise I was on was like the Monday through Thursday. That was just a normal cruise. But the second one was that super charter cruise. So, and you can get theme cruises where you can have, I've been on cruises where Chaka Khan was there, Boyz II Men was there, and even the old school rappers were there, MC Light and all of them. With some cruises you can take and all of them be there. And even what's the gospel singer, the Winans.
Yes, I love the Winans.
Winans was on one of the cruises I was on. Michelle Farrell and
I love Michelle. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they have a lot of those theme cruises and jazz cruises and all that. So it's a lot of fun. And I like the cruises because I just go upstairs, do my show, and eat my food, and I can hang out. You don't have to drive, don't have to fight no traffic. I can literally 10 minutes before the show just get ready, bam, I'm there.
Wow, that's exciting. Oh my gosh. You making me want to go on a cruise now, for real.
Hey, you gotta do it.
I need to get away. Yeah. That's awesome. So let me let you do your Jerome moment.
Yeah, well, the moment I'm going to talk about today is for the sports fans. If you're a sports fan, especially the NBA fans, that's starting up now. They're finishing up. Baseball is about to get into they're in their playoffs now, if I'm not mistaken. And football's still doing this thing, but basketball is about to start their season again. And if you're a basketball fan, you know that the superstar Kyrie Irving is skeptical whether he's going to start the season right away because he doesn't want to get vaccinated.
Oh Lord, I can't.
And then pretty much, I think 95% of basketball players in the NBA are vaccinated. He doesn't want to get vaccinated, and the issue is, New York just has a mandate saying if you're an athlete, professional athlete, you cannot perform indoors unless you're vaccinated. So that means he can't play any home games. And if he misses any home games because of his salary, he won't get paid. And that's $380,000 a game that he won't be paid because he doesn't want to get vaccinated. Where Kevin Durant's on his team and James Harden, and they're vaccinated. And those are the superstars. So with those three, man, they have a good chance of maybe winning the championships. So without him, that's a big loss. And they asked why he's not doing it, but Kyrie's a bit of a head case. I'm sorry, Kyrie, man. You are a heck of a baller, a hell of a baller. But it's always something with you. He believed the Earth was flat at one point. He was a flat earther. And then people went and showed and proved to him. I don't know how in the 20th century you can think the world is flat.
What is he smoking?
Yeah, I'm telling you. And then he was like, and then he finally had to apologize. Okay, I'm wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. But, he's into all these different conspiracy theories or whatever. There's always something with him. And he doesn't want to play. He's just disgruntled with the team. He had a problem with, he wanted to have more of a leader role than he was with LeBron. I'm like, you guys won a championship. You guys are superstar. But LeBron is LeBron. LeBron's a freak of nature. You got to go with that. Don't try to think you have to be necessarily head honcho, you along with them. So you are a great player along with him and y'all can move on. But no, he wanted to do his own thing and be the star himself. So he went to Boston, and what happened there? That didn't pan out. He didn't go to the finals. He didn't get no championship. So now he sets it up where I heard he was the main person setting it up to go to the Brooklyn Nets, him and KD and James Harden. And you talking about those two dudes were MVPs. And Kyrie's a superstar, got a championship ring. So you talking about heck of a team, and now he doesn't want to get vaccinated for no real reason. He just personal reasons. I just don't know if I want to do. And I personally don't get it nowadays.
The 3-8 game, that's crazy. I'll be vaccinated.
People don't want to get vaccinated because they think there's going to be side effects, this and that. But they'll take any other kind of drug. There's people taking statin drugs, people taking other blood pressure drugs. And people take Tylenol, you can get liver damage from taking too much Tylenol. Those are side effects. You know how you see the commercials. You can try this for your wellness, or this and that. Side effects can be, a volatile, explosive diarrhea, blood coming from your eyes, and stillborn children. But that's only in a few cases. But take this everything tour or whatever. And I'm like, come on. And people are taking their pain medication. And one guy, Perkins, who's a former basketball player, and he was saying, well, a lot of these players are having these surgeries, and Kyrie has several surgeries on his knees, and you get painkillers and all that for these surgeries. Those has plenty of side effects that people are not researching. They just take the painkiller or whatever, but then they don't want to take this vaccine, which has been researched. Okay, the FDA didn't approve it, but people are taking supplements like echinacea, fenugreek, ginkgo biloba, turmeric, ginseng. None of those are approved by the FDA, and people taking those every day. Oh, this is the herbal supplement. And then there's the ancient Indians took these ancient, these herbal supplements, so it worked for them. I'm like, see what happened to them though. I take this supplement, that means I'm going to get my land taken and my buffaloes killed and thrown on a reservation. Come on. So, I mean, just because it's an herbal supplement in the plant doesn't mean it can actually do what it says. Sometimes maybe it does, sometimes it doesn't, but you got to look at the efficacy, because when you get the actual plant, when it's right there and alive, maybe it does something. But by the time they chop it up and powder it up and dry it up and put in that pill, it might not have no effect at all. People pop it. And what's the pill encased with? Whatever the pill's encased with, your body's not used to digesting that. So I don't get it. All the anti-vaxxers, I would say and they have these other ones, it's St. John's wort. That's a supplement people take, and people don't know what the side effects of that is. And I ain't taking nobody's wort, whether they're the same or not. But they got some saint up there, bring out the saint, scraping his warts off and putting them in the pills. So I don't get it. But Kyrie Irving, I hope he comes to his senses and go ahead and get vaccinated so he can play the game. But if he doesn't, that's on him. I don't think some people say, well, he's being forced. If you're an athlete, you're not being forced. You can always not play. You can quit, or you can go to another team. And what happens with Kyrie, in New York, you have to be vaccinated, but he can play on the road and not be vaccinated. So that means you won't play home games just half the season, and you'll just play the road games. But then what about the chemistry with the team? So that's not fair to the team. To me, if you're not vaccinated, that's not fair to people you're around.
Exactly.
Like, I come on the ship. Because I was even telling my nieces, you can't just be popping over and coming over the house if you're not vaccinated. We can stay outside 6-7 feet away, because if you give me something, see, I got 3,000, 4,000 people that are at risk now. Because if I come on with something, I can spread it to everybody. So I'm like, hey man, go and get the shot. You'll be okay. We ain't gonna turn into zombies. And if so, what the heck, we're gonna be zombies anyway.
Right. It's funny that you mentioned it. People talk about zombies. You know what? I know this sounds kind of morbid, but I'd rather be the zombie doing the eating instead of getting ate.
Yeah, exactly. It don't hurt when you're doing the eating. But you notice in these zombie movies, man, these people first of all, they have razor sharp teeth. First of all, they got no strength, but they can bite one bite and take out 15 pounds of meat. I mean, you see shark bites, they don't take out that much meat in one bite. They got to wiggle around in alligators, but these zombies just all the flesh tears off. And I'm like, and first of all, another stupid thing, now we're off on another tangent, but I gotta address this. You look at these zombie movies, and the people that are surviving, they walk around with like short sleeve shirts on. Like, look, if you got a bunch of clothes, I'd have like 15 coats. They can't bite through the coats. You can knock them down, they can't bite through the coat. Have some gloves, they can't bite through. They just be biting on it. But they can't bite through. These people have t-shirts and then bite their neck. How stupid are you? Haven't you learned? See, The Walking Dead, I think it was the second or third season, they had it where people were wearing kind of body armor and stuff. Then they stopped. I noticed they didn't do that only a few episodes, because they probably realized, look, how's somebody gonna get beat if we all covered up? So let's just not cover up, and hopefully people won't notice that this is stupid not to be covered up. I mean, if it's cold outside, you wear a coat and jacket, but
right.
For these zombie movies, no, we got short pants and tank tops.
Tank tops, yeah.
And the zombies pop out of nowhere. First of all, they be stinking to high heaven, and you would smell them 15 miles away. But they just boom, pop up on you. They walk in half a mile an hour. I think you would know. They're making noise and they're crunching. Wow, they're not trying. And you don't see a zombie sneaking around. And they have no idea. Just bing, 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 pops on. And I wonder if the zombies probably vaccinated. So they don't get COVID. You eat, but you won't get the COVID.
Right.
And another thing about this, going back, I'm jumping all over the place. But back to the supplements, even the vitamins, they've done the surveys and studies on the vitamins, and they say if you eat a balanced diet, the vitamins have been proven to do a whole lot for you if you eat a balanced diet. Now, if you don't eat and you're deprived and you don't have your vitamin C or iron, the supplement can do a little something. But if you eat normal foods, you just end up like peeing it out, your vitamins. So it just ends up you taking all these supplement vitamins, and if you take a multivitamin, I've told even from doctors that just take it maybe every other day, not every day, because it's going to be too much. You're just going to pee it out. You just got an expensive fee.
You know what?
Actually, if that's the case, what was that?
Yeah, I asked my doctor about the herbs that you see everybody taking and buying online and all that. And I asked her, I said, so is that better than getting, and she said, all it's going to do is give you a bad case of the runs. Exactly what you just talked about. So if you're not taking it right.
Yeah. And if you have your nutrients that you need, just peeing it out. And if you just, it's expensive. If you want to save money, just invite R. Kelly over. Then, everybody knows the story. R. Kelly will pee on you. So you can cut out the middleman. Just have R. Kelly, but now you got to go to jail to get that treatment. Because I believe I can fly. He's a jailbird now. He's right inside his cell. But more about that next time. See, the next time I'm on, I'm going to do a R. Kelly analysis. But I have to do my research because I don't want to I ain't want to just knock the brother when the brother's down. You got to make sure that what happened is what happened, and he actually is guilty, because you know how they always the omnipotent they always try to put a brother down, knock a black man down. So I'm like, let me give you the benefit of the doubt. And make sure these allegations are kind of what they're saying. So I will talk about that with him the next time. Yeah. And also, I will also bring up to anyone watching, if you watch again, how do you handle one of your favorite artists or a great artist that you love their art or their songs or whatever they did, and if you find out they did a crime or a heinous crime, how does that affect how you felt about them, or how you feel about them as an artist? So, for example, if you had an inspirational song, your choir sang "I Believe I Can Fly," or you had that song at your wedding, and all those great memories of that song and R. Kelly stuff during your wedding, and if you find out they do a big crime, or Truman Capote directs these movies and he's convicted of this or that, so how do you feel when you think about your wedding now? Are you supposed to feel bad about it? Are you supposed to like not play any of his music anymore, or can you dismiss that and separate the artist from whatever the crime they did or were accused of? That's very interesting. That's a good food for thought. Everybody out there in internet land.
Yes, that's deep, because I love R. Kelly's music, and for the longest time I would not listen to it. And I love his music, but when he was thrown in jail, I was like, well, I guess I can listen to it now. He's serving time. So you're right.
He's paid. Yeah, he's paid his dues. He's doing his. He's getting his punishment. So jam it up, Swing an episode.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. That'll be good for you to come back and do something on R. Kelly. Definitely.
Yeah, because he's my last name is Kelly, and I had a cousin that always thinks we were related to everybody. He was at the family. R. Kelly's our cousin. R. Kelly, we're Kelly. R. Kelly's our cousin. I said, man, you're not related to him, because I'm sure we would know that by now. No, he's our cousin, man, because he's a Kelly. I said, there's a lot of Kellys. We're not related to every single. Are we related to Machine Gun Kelly? Where was that, 40s or 50s, and you shooting people? Come on.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So anything crazy going on the cruise ship that you're allowed to talk about? Anything funny that you saw?
No, everything was pretty much kosher for this cruise, other than the cruise ship does attract a lot of overeaters, I should say. Before people go, you're fat shaming. There's a lot of overeaters on the cruise ships because there's buffet food all over the place. And some of those overeaters will be in the pool in Speedos and bikinis. And they should not be in those, probably, I would say. But to each his own. But some of them just get out, I'm saying. You don't know they have a bikini or Speedos on. You just see mounds and mounds flapping and flopping all over the place. Put 2 drops of water in the pool and it's full when they get in there. But I mean, there was one woman that just huge. I mean, her toes were huge. I mean, just everything. And this is another lady said. He looked at her and said, you know what? Either that woman ain't got no friends, ain't got no mama, and ain't got no mirror. They were Jabba the Hutt action. But some people, and that's like, you look at that and they like piling it on high. More bacon, more bacon. You know, and they usually don't even go to the shows. They just eat. As soon as you look at them, they, where the food at? Where the food at? And you know, it gets to the point where some people don't even care about the thing. The ships will have theme nights, casual night, or it used to be cruise elegant night. I mean, not cruise elegant, formal night, where you wore your best tuxedos and all that. Yeah. And it got to the point with some of the ships where people just didn't dress up. And then they come in, they just call it cruise elegant, where people have their formal flip-flops. And I mean, folks was coming around in Crocs. I guess they're formal Crocs.
I can't.
You know, wash and wear shoes. I guess you can jump in and just jump in the pool and rinse your shoes off. And then when you ain't got to shine your shoes, you just put your Crocs in the toilet and just rinse them off. You go in with the hairdryer and then your Crocs are clean. You know, so.
Do they at least wear slacks or a dress with their Crocs? Or
some people don't even have slacks. Some people don't even have a good shirt or a suit. Some people do not have it. They'll wear like a nice T-shirt sometimes, or maybe a short sleeve, and that's dressing to them. And you know their wife had them to do it. Come on, honey, you got to at least wear that. Okay, with my formal holy jeans, you know. It's like, and then some people really dress nice and impeccable. Some women are just pow, hair fierce, done. They come out dressed and boom, and they're just magnificent ladies like Drelette herself, magnificent. And other folks, you can care less. They don't give a damn. Whatever. I don't pay for this juice. I just get here to get my food, my drink on. And they'll pile of. And the thing that's really a waste, because you can get as much as you want. So just start with a small portion, and you can go back. And second, these folks will pile up a big old plate and they eat half of it, and they go back to another plate and eat half of it. Like, come on, man, that's just a serious waste.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But, you know. But that's what it is. But if you just want to do whale watching on a cruise ship, you ain't got to look outside.
Oh.
I know people are gonna get me. Cancel.
No.
You know, cancel me because I talk.
My thing of it is that,
I'm talking about you.
I was gonna say
a couple of pleasing, you a little bit of weight. One thing.
Yeah. Some people, you know, that they're overweight, or you know, I get it, but. I think let me just clean this up for you. I think what Jerome is saying is, you know, when you got on a little itty bitty bikini and you like humongous, okay, no.
Yeah, it's like, please. That's a break. But hey, be proud of it. If you're proud of it, to each his own. What the heck? I'm out here. This is how I am. I'm hanging out. Bam. It's like I said on another Let's Talk. I think I went on a nude cruise. A couple of nude cruises where everybody's naked and people were fine with it. And actually, you know, like I said before, you get used to it. After the second day, it's just, people just naked.
But naked, really? I didn't know those cruises.
Everywhere. Wow. And it's totally chartered. I mean, it's not like you go on surprise. What the heck, people naked, and you come on and you know, you equate
take your clothes off too?
With your family and your church group, and all of a sudden, what? No, it's a full charter where 100% of the passengers are.
So do you take your clothes off too, Jerome?
No, I didn't. You could. I could, though. They said if you want to get naked and do your show, I'm like, I'm good. It might be cold on stage or in that room. And I don't have to walk around and keep it on youporn.com or something just to keep me stimulated while I'm still doing the show. No, but one of the comics did. One of the jugglers did. They went stripped at the end of that show.
Oh, no.
And then, hey, to each his own. It's just actually it's normal. We're all naked under our clothes. So, and they have no shame. And they're good people and they're cool. And they have, you know, they can have scars from surgery and this and that, but they don't even care. And you look past it. It's just, hey, that's just like, you know, just like if you look at ugly people, somebody really ugly. At first, like, whoa, they're ugly, but then, you know, like you get used to it. It's just that's the ugly guy. That's my ugly cousin. So, you know, you just get used to my ugly neighbor, you know, and you get used to their face and their look, and so they just look. You just recognize them. They don't look ugly, or so even somebody's beautiful. You can be really good looking, and after a while, you just recognize them. So I'm sure if you got a woman's got a really handsome husband, or a man's got a really beautiful wife, after about 6-7 months, you know that they're beautiful, but you're not like, wow, out every second. You just kind of recognize them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the new people looking at them would be like, "Whoa, there we go!" Yeah. But you get used to them. So
Oh my gosh.
when it came to the news crews, you get used to it.
Tell everybody where you're headed out to next, in case they want to jump on one of those cruises to see you perform.
Yeah, if you get on the next cruise I'll be getting on in the I think it's the let me look at my calendar.
We got your
I
information.
believe it's on the 17th of this month on a Sunday. I'll be getting on another Carnival cruise ship. It's called the Glory. It leaves out of what does it leave out of New Orleans. So I'll be Cajun country and give me some good Cajun food. And it goes to Cozumel, Belize, and Mahogany Bay.
Ooh.
So nice fortunes. It's a 7-day cruise. A lot of cruise ships are doing a little bit longer cruises now, and where some of them still do the 3 and 4 day cruises and that kind of thing. But this is going to be a 7-day cruise.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully I'll have my computer stuff together where I can actually post from there.
Oh,
maybe even post like that so you can see the water in the background. And
well, yeah, we understand. We understand.
I should be able to do it because you're connected when you're on the ship. If anybody's never been on a cruise ship, they have internet, and that's usually very good. And you can be totally connected the whole time. You can buy different packages for the internet, and you can have your phone. You can be on your phone or your laptop or whatever. Nowadays most people use their phone or their tablets, and you can be totally connected, and you can make your phone calls through the internet or through your apps like WhatsApp or Messenger or FaceTime or something like that.
Okay.
And it usually works out where that's good. And then you have the ships will have their own app. And you go into that and you can see everything that's happening during that day, where to eat, the times that these buffets are happening, and these show times. It's really convenient now. It's a kind of a high-tech thing.
Okay.
So it's not like you're totally away from everything.
Yeah. Well, if not, we anxiously await you coming back for your JeROME moment.
Right.
I appreciate you coming on. You always got me laughing. You had me crying there for you. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. Well, you stay safe out there and keep in touch, and we'll see you next time on Let's Talk.
Okay, yeah. You too. You guys stay safe, and hey, mask up and don't be afraid of the vaccine. I think we're all right.
Yes.
Didn't Pfizer get I think they got FDA approval. I think Pfizer did.
Yes, they did. They sure did.
If I'm not mistaken. And Moderna is on its way. So
yes,
we should be all right because you gotta be healthy. If not, at least get an N95 mask and understand that the virus is still going around. So be precautious. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
That's so true.
I haven't touched my face in years. So I take this and I don't trust myself.
Well, you stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
Too. Okay, next time.
Okay, yes, sir. Talk to you. Okay. Right. Bye-bye.
Long and prosper. Here we are. Spock.
See you.
All right.
All right, guys. That was JeROME, his JeROME moment. So funny. Like having him on, he always has me dying laughing. So, oh my goodness, you guys, as we close out the show, I just want to thank author Hartford Hough and JeROME for the JeROME moment, for coming on and giving us a little chuckle, a little laugh. So appreciate him, definitely. So you guys, as I close out the show, I want to leave you guys with a positive thought, as I do every week. The positive thought is never assume that you are stuck with the way things are right now. Life changes every single moment, and so can you. And that came from the power of positivity. You guys just always keep pushing no matter what. Also, remember, do one good thing for one person each day, and you can affect 365 lives. Be it you open the door, you say a kind word, call your neighbor, check on a loved one, say hello, how you doing, and just be good to everybody out there. And if you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. Do your part so our society can move on from this craziness. Okay. And I will see you here next week on Let's Talk. I am your host, author JeROME. And with that, if no one's told you, I forgot to say that part. If no one's told you that they love you, know that I love you. And with that, I'm out.